Welcome, friends. This is Archangel. We are privileged to live amongst beings that possess a Y chromosome, and in reality, they rock. Yet, something is not right. We use, abuse, devalue, and discard of these natural wonders, and awakening to these unpleasant cruelties is the hardest thing any possessor of a Y chromosome will ever have to do. Yet the process of their awakening forges a warrior. Thus, I present the tutelage. Males are going along in life feeding the misandristic machine. Their life force has been drained little by little every day, yet they are blissfully unaware of their slavery. They are in hot pursuit of the American Holy Grail: family, kids, wife, comfortable job, little league on the weekends, and pumpkin pie at the in-laws on Thanksgiving. How nice. They wear t-shirts with stick figures that say, "Life is great." They are going along happily anesthetized when somehow, somewhere, in some way, the edges of reality waver for a split second, like the heat rising off midsummer asphalt in Phoenix will cause the image of the horizon to waver. It only happens for a second at first. Then, with more and more frequency, you witness this reality wavering. Suddenly it's the walls at the office, the instrument panel of your car, the shallow interactions of people at the store. Things just seem different, somehow. You contemplate this. That's weird. And you assume the problem lies with you. I need to get more sleep. I need to start eating better. I need to exercise. I need to run in for a checkup. I'm going nuts. I need to lay off the crack pipe before 5:30 p.m., etc. You go home. Everything seems normal. The family is their usual selves. The wife is demanding, unaffectionate, in a passive-aggressive way, and the kids are, well, they're kids in our modern Facebook age, self-centered and entitled. Hey, wait, when did this happen? Who kidnapped the loving bride you brag about to the guys at the office, or the gym, or on the construction site? And what happened to the little darlings whose pictures line your wallet? Suddenly, you're to blame for everything. You're the bad guy. More and more, you realize everything is your fault. Everybody points out your flaws. You don't do enough. You don't provide enough. You're always gone. You are blamed for everything, despite the fact that you do everything. Why has everybody suddenly turned on you? Can't they see that you're the man? The world was built by males for males. Males are in charge, right? Everybody looks up to and cares about males, right? Little by little, you start seeing bubblegum and duct tape in your peripheral vision. What the heck is that? This continues on this way for some time. You see male bashing in pop culture. You hear about other guys getting abused in family court. You hear more and more about females getting privileges because they are female. But you really pay this no mind. These things happen to others. If you stick to good Christian, conservative, American family values and put your faith in a patriarchal hierarchy, all will be right with the world. A return to traditionalism will save the world. That is what you put stock in. You think men are supposed to be policemen and firefighters and soldiers. Males are bigger and stronger. They're supposed to die protecting the weak. Males are supposed to open doors for ladies and treat them special. That's how things are. That's what makes this country so great. Male strength. You reassure yourself that you're doing the right thing, protecting and providing. That's what makes you a real man. Yet you continue to see idiosyncrasies. An uncovered seam here, a curtain rustling over there. Somehow you get the feeling that you've been played. You've been lied to. But how? And lied to about what? I have a great life, you tell yourself. I'm living the American dream. I have a wife that adores me, kids that love me, a good job, and a government that affords me the most civil liberties in the world. I can sleep knowing evil, bad men are locked up and good women are inspiring greatness in humanity. Yet even as you replay these sound bites in your head, these conservative, traditionalist platitudes ring hollow. They don't resonate as they used to. Something is different. This continues for many, many lunar cycles. You begin to formulate some theories. You can see that the government is crooked, but rationalize it away. You can see that males are not so respected by pop culture, but you tell yourself it's the bloodthirsty feminists. You sense animosity from your golden jewel, your family, but you chalk it up to life, stress, a bad day, even though this bad day has lasted as long as you can remember. Little by little, the duct tape and bubblegum holding your precious illusion together begins to give way until one day, in some subconscious, desperative search, you come across some ambiguous, mysterious males on the internet peddling red pills. So you listen out of exasperation for your crumbling life. At first, you think these male voices are crazy, jaded, hate mongers. You can't accept the truth you are hearing. It runs counter to everything you have ever been taught. These male voices speak of male abuse, and the immediate thought in your head rebuts what you hear. Males aren't abused. We run the world. We are supposed to protect and die for society. Males are valued and cherished by females, so we should open their doors or pay their bills. Males are disliked because we are bad. Most crime is committed by males. We deserve to be slandered, but as long as I keep my head down and do what I'm supposed to, I am valued. Society respects me, and females desire my happiness. I don't know what these dudes are talking about. In fact, you get angry at this little enclave of YouTube voices singing out their misogynistic, paranoid messages. What a bunch of losers that can't get dates. They need to man up and accept their responsibilities. Yet you go about your day, and their words keep popping into your head. Something about what they said rings true to some part of you on some level, though you desperately try to deny this. Then, suddenly, one day, it clicks. Whatever it is, perhaps the innuendo in the wife's voice, or the random female that grips her purse fearfully to her as you smile innocently at her on the train, or observing females that look at you expectantly as you both approach the doors of a building. Perhaps you finally register the simpering males who kowtow to their wife or girlfriend, or maybe you overhear a female, any female, discussing male worth. The trigger is unimportant. Still, something has snapped. You see feet rustling behind the curtain, and, fed up, you thrust aside the thick drapery to find the actual wizard. And in that moment, flashes from your life replay to reveal the fabled hindsight clarity, like the ending sequence of a movie when all events, mysteries, and subterfuge are tied together, and you finally see that the murderer was the neighbor's friend's dentist's cat, Fluffy. You see your entire existence in the same way. Flashes, replaying events, reconstructing timelines. As the puzzle comes together, showing you your life has been a lie. You're the sucker who was duped with fairy tales. In those moments, you feel surreal, even ill, realizing the truth of your life, of your worth to society, to females, to everyone. Your entire existence has been prefabricated propaganda to extract things from you. You are essentially a shovel. That is the revelation. That is the epiphany. That's what it all comes down to. You realize you're a shovel to labor for others, then be discarded when your handle breaks. Males are devalued. Males are abused. Males are used mercilessly. Then males are discarded. And it has been this way for centuries. Those crazy red pillars on the internet were right. These epiphanies hit you like a ton of bricks. How could you have been so stupid, so naive, so gullible? Yet cruelty has just begun. Seeing the real wizard is just the start of tormented tutelage. You have the whole gamut of overcoming indoctrination, the whole gamut of loss, of betrayal, of post-traumatic stress to deal with now. Immediately upon overwhelming inundation with the reality of male existence, your defense mechanisms snap into place, and you deny till the cows come home. No, it's not true. It's not like that. Women are not like that. I must be having a mental breakdown. Yet you know you are cogent and lucid, and on some level of consciousness, you know that females really are like that. You see it. You have always seen it, yet never admitted their malevolence. That way you would have plausible deniability. Ignorance is bliss. But you know they are that way, and that you have lied to yourself. Then you try to blame someone, something for this truth. Males. It must be males. Males are the cause of all problems. If our angelic female class has gone astray, it must be the fault of some cruel, depraved criminal guy somewhere. You blame decadent culture, you blame feminism, you blame the weather, anything to vent your anger while salvaging your precious gender of salvation, benevolence, and beauty. So you get angry, you rage against life, you rage against the inequities of the universe. You get pissed at God. Why? You get more hostile towards males. They're to blame for all this. And even if they're not, at least I can abuse them. I dare never touch a female. You look at other males exuding false happiness with their little crumb of the American pie, and you feel a twinge of sorrow for them because they are still entrenched in illusion. What chumps! Yet at the same time, you also feel envy for them because they are still entrenched in the illusion. They are lucky. They still get to pretend the fairy tale is real. They still get to believe in the Easter Bunny. Eventually, as you go through your day and see male devaluation everywhere you tread, you begin witnessing people mock males incessantly, or brand them as plundering criminals and rapists, or demean the male anatomy. Why had you never noticed this before? You begin to realize governmental enforced male utility, divorce, alimony, child support, things you knew about before, yet pretended they happened to other guys. You realize the obvious atmosphere of male disposability, selective service, affirmative action for females, chivalry, falling on your sword for any anonymous female. You understand reality. You realize the truth that belies the pretty wrapping and window dressing and societal propaganda. You clearly see male disposability. You realize that it has been happening for centuries, that you were born into slavery. You never had a chance. If luck of fate bestowed a Y chromosome in your arsenal of genes, then you are expendable labor to be used at the discretion of others. You realize no paradigm or construct from the past will fix this. Traditionalism made males disposable in order to protect and provide for the females they infantilize, and females went along with this ruse for provision. Then you have the females that were tired of being infantilized and rising up. Feminists only compounded the male disposability that traditionalism started. Males are damned either way. The more you realize and truly accept the advancing precepts of male devaluation and disposability, the angrier you get. At some point, you are seething with rage. Rage against everything that has contributed to your imprisonment, your indoctrination, and ultimately to your blissfully ignorant usury. You are angry at men, women, God, nations, philosophies, sports teams. You even have the anger left over to vent at Puxatawny Phil for seeing his own shadow. Then begins a game you are very good at, blaming yourself for your enslavement. Maybe if I had a better job, or worked harder, maybe if I had a nicer house, a better car, improved social stature, maybe if I had never come across those idiots and their misogynistic drivel on YouTube, none of this would have happened. Then you formulate plots. Maybe I can somehow deny blatant reality. I can somehow forget about the little dude behind the curtain throwing switches and pulling levers. Maybe I can plug myself back in to the system and then live out the rest of the pathetic, naive life I was already set to finish. But there is a problem. You know deep down you cannot forget all the male devaluation that surrounds you. You cannot forget males raked over the coals in family courts. You cannot unobserve all the man-hating and male-bashing that goes on everywhere from TV to convenience store conversations. You cannot unsee the peril males place themselves in, whether on oil rigs or fighting fires or fighting wars, all to the benefit of females who will never be compelled to do the same, though we are all equal. You realize you cannot explain away female hypergamy or justify female demands for equality and chivalry, nor can you undo the greed with which females demand all this from society. You cannot banish the reality of gynocentrism, the proclivity for both sexes to favor female interests and well-being, nor can you banish how flagrant a reality gynocentrism truly is. Everybody glorifies females and marginalizes males. Males suffer. Males are manipulated, used, and discarded, and all this you cannot forget, short of amnesia-induced head trauma. As all this sinks in, sadness, melancholy, and utter despair begin to set in. You see no real point to life. it all sucks. Life really is a divine comedy at male's expense. Life is nothing but pain and turmoil. Males were doomed from the start. There is no justice. When a female tear begins to fall, 10 people are rushing with embroidered handkerchiefs to catch it before it hits the floor. When a male cries, we laugh. Then we tell them, I'll give you something to cry about. When you realize how truly abused males are, while people trip all over themselves to coddle females, your sadness only grows. When you realize that every male is truly alone, that nobody has ever had your back, you see male existence as a tragedy. At times, you couple this torment and the loss of your dreams, the rendering of your world, your beliefs, as fairy tales. It is almost too much to bear such loss and such betrayal by God, by the universe, by everyone around you. And you contemplate the end of this pain. You may even begin to entertain how you might do it. Will you jump off a bridge? Maybe an overdose. More than likely a steel barrel in your mouth. You want it done right. You don't want to have to wake up again to this male devaluing nightmare. You languish day in, day out, existing to feed the tax machine of a society and world that thrives off and is made possible by your blood, sweat, and tears. You exist, providing labor to continue earning access to your American dream at 101 Kumbaya Lane. You may bury yourself in vice or lash out at others or act up as a means of venting such vicious betrayal. Then, at some point, the bargaining starts. You say, okay, pull it together. Things are bad, but not that bad. The system can still be salvaged. Perhaps females are malevolent and selfish, but not all women. You begin to scheme how you can have a foot in both worlds, fighting a society that disposes of you while simultaneously carrying on a romantic relationship with females, who you tell yourself are different than all the others. Perhaps your newly inspired unicorn lies in another country, or race, or religion, or philosophy. You simply need to search for a girl with good Christian or Muslim values, and then the same God that allows male disposability in the first place will somehow bring you peace and harmony and justice if you simply find a girl with morals and family values, right? As you ponder this possible unicorn, hope begins to rise that all is not lost. There are some wonderful, benevolent females out there. There is a goddess in flesh that will love and cherish you for you. You can still have a female who will save you from everything. You can still have a female stroke your hair at night and tell you how special and valuable you are to her. When you find this unicorn, you can still salvage your dreams. You can still find your relevance through female validation. You can still save the world and dedicate the sun, the moon, and the stars to females. And so you grasp at excitement and embark upon a journey for the fabled altruistic goddess incarnate, the exception to the rule. You bond with other unicorn seekers along the way. You invoke all your powers of creativity to rationalize the existence of such a female. You forget that females are the way they are because of survivalist instinct. If she is living, she is doing anything she can to survive. Thus, she will use and discard anyone and anything in order to procure what she feels is necessary to her survival, whether that entails playing submissive to a traditionalist man in order to get protection and provision for her and her offspring, or whether her survival entails getting cars, clothes, jewels, yachts from rich males, or whether her survival entails ego stroking and dictates she get as much attention from as many males as possible. Every female has different needs and varying demands from this physical existence. Yet you ignore this and everything you've seen and the torment you have experienced up to this point. You ignore all this while you hunt down your fabled quarry, who you convince yourself has usurped the motivations and instincts that accompany her existence and instead has reformed and mended her ways and become a magical shooting star that seeks only one thing in her life: to love you. You nurture this unicorn myth. It's easy. You have already had a lifetime of indoctrination telling you females are pure, wholesome, and benevolent. You get excited when females stroke your badly damaged identity by speaking out about male injustices and abuse, and females who are rebuking feminism. You suck up every little bit of this you can. This bolsters your hope even more. You get excited that you can fully resurrect your dream of salvation through females. You fail to realize you're setting yourself up for yet another fall, even as you are still tender from the last fall, which rendered your entire world a sham, a lie, a manipulation to extract labor and wealth from you. Still reeling from that, and in the throes of depression and desperation, you try to salvage your shattered feelings. You want to tape your dreams back together, and this fabled altruistic female is the perfect diversion. So you look and dabble with dating here and there. Maybe you distract yourself with a relationship or a string of relationships. Maybe you get sucked into marriage for the first time, or second or third time. Maybe you try out some online dating, but nothing is providing you comfort or refuge because you see relationships, indeed every female behavior or word, from the filter of male devaluation, not from the rosy-colored glasses of gynocentrism. You find very little solace in romantic relationships post-awakening. So you realize either you resign yourself to a cage, to fairy tales that you, as a male, are cared about by society, by females, by everyone, or you find a new path, a new purpose for yourself, independent of female usury. Sadly, many of our brothers choose option 3, a 44 slug through the roof of the mouth. Before your awakening, you thought that males were weak and cowardly for taking the easy way out. Now you have contemplated chewing lead yourself, and you understand why males end everything. You also understand the shaming tactics about suicide and why they are embedded in culture and religion, to keep males from ending their own lives. Because a dead male is useless. Utility cannot be extracted from a corpse. So society shackles males to servitude, and religion shames them for even thinking about a permanent freedom from their subjugation. You may not be sure what lies beyond the mortal veil, but you know life sucks. So your back's against the wall. You have nothing to live for and everything to die for. In fact, society feels entitled to your demise at their whim. Finally, the choice becomes clear. Reject devaluation, starve the vaginisty. Drain the oil from the gynocentric engine by turning your back on society while you tend to yourself and whatever makes you happy. Games, fantasy, toys, whatever. It's all about you. Those weird dudes going their own way on the computer were more brilliant than you possibly knew. Yet often you ponder the manifestations of disposability and entitlement. How can you not? They still surround you everywhere you go. So every time you venture into the outside world, you have to confront female and society claims to your blood, your misery, your demise, and how it will enrich them. You look at other males broken and bruised, dying on the battlefield of life. You see young boys 2 or 3 years old and realize the tumult that waits them in the future. Then for the second time, something solid clicks, and you feel righteous outrage. This is complete crap, and I will not take it. For the first time in your life, you look upon your countenance in the mirror, and you see beauty and value. I'll be damned. You never noticed your true majesty, but there it is, plain as day. You do matter. You are valuable. And suddenly, the unthinkable actually becomes plausible. There is life. There is happiness beyond sex and the romantic bubble of female affection and approval. Wow, really? You'd never thought that possible a few years ago, when your entire existence was centered around female placation. Then you became aware of male devaluation and disposability. Then you contemplated ending your existence because you could not live without females. Now you realize it is not only possible, but beneficial. You choose to live without subjugation or servitude to females. Then you notice a new excitement, a fire in your belly, a raging passion in your soul. You desire to help others. You have found purpose. Your tutelage is complete. And this is where the story begins. Welcome to Liberation Y. I am not disposable, and neither are you. Now, how about we free the rest of our brothers? Stand with me. Live free.